I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I know how to start. Sounds familiar. I don't know how we're going to finish, but I know where to begin. All right.
We are friends from Craigslist.
Woo! Ooh, that was fire! Yeah.
What's up, podcast? Welcome back to episode 12. You're back. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Please continue to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. You can also watch this on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. All the links are in the bio/description below. What up, Grace?
How we doing?
Good. I have a question for you to start off.
Ooh, coming in hot.
I knew it. I knew it.
No pleasantries. No, how was your weekend? Just right off the bat.
We'll get there.
Questions.
I have a pressing issue at hand.
All right.
Have you ever felt the need?
Yes.
All right. Let me preface this. Grace, you have a car. You've driven cars multiple times. I've been in them when you have driven them.
I love cars.
Now, have you ever felt the need? Have you ever felt the need to drive to 39th Street between 3rd and Lex? Have you also felt the need, wait for it, have you ever felt the need to park your car outside of 39th Street and 3rd Avenue and then decide at like 11 o'clock at night to roll down your windows and blast The Weeknd as loud as you can so that one's windows shake and share your music with the world?
First, I don't think my stereo system in my good old Honda Pilot is shaking any windows here. So I don't know what truck those person's speakers fell off of that they get to have window shaking on, like, what? You're on like the 6th floor or something like that?
I'm on the 3rd, so it's not far up, but it's like, dude, really? It was a minivan too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they gave up. And still, for whatever reason, they want to blast Starboy really, really loud at 11 o'clock. And it was a busy weekend. And I'm like, I come home and I just want to relax and watch a little bit of TV like a human. You know, I don't usually get to do that. And I come home from a long weekend, busy. And I sit down and here's Mr. Minivan. But it's weird because a lot of, and I don't know if this is Lesbehonest or not, but it happens all the time. Like, people drive by, and it's not just here, it's like everywhere. People drive by and they're blasting their music, and every time I have the same reaction. What a dick.
Well, okay. So, is it blasting? So, like, again, I love driving, and one of the best parts about driving is windows down, radio blasting. It is. And you're just cruising. Life couldn't be better. So, like, am I that dick? Or is this like New York City because it's so enclosed? It echoes its way up versus like a good highway drive. And or are the people who are blasting music have better stereo systems?
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's little penis stereo systems because, like, the bass is way too bassy for the minivan that it is. You know what I mean? And I hate them. Oh, and there was one good one the other day when I was, before last night when I was driving back to the city, guy with all tinted windows, right? All tinted, like, pitch black windows, driving like a fucking idiot, rolls the window down, and it's just so loud. And I'm like, I'm not offended at that point because I'm not in my home trying to relax, but I'm just like, oh, you're a dick, man. People do not know how to drive these days.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
That's also a New York thing.
I know.
Like,
it made me so mad.
In New York. It's so funny, though. Okay, actually, like, on this driving thing, it's pretty funny. So, Casey, my fiance, grew up in New York.
Oh, is that her name?
But that one for you.
Not Tuesday.
No,
We're talking about the Monday fiance. I'm kidding.
Yes, right. The one that ends the days that end in Y.
Yeah. Oh,
fiance.
perfect. That one.
Yeah.
Yes.
She grew up in New York. I grew up in Maryland. There is a clear difference when we're driving how a New Yorker gets upset with someone driving versus someone from Maryland. So, for instance, we were driving the other day. We're driving along, and this van kind of cuts me off a little bit. And I do put my hands in the way, but like one of those, like, he looked in the rear view mirror. He looks. So you got to do the, like, seriously kind of hands, because they saw. And you do the seriously hands in your back. What the? Get out of here! Honk your horn at him! He just cut you off! Go up beside him, I'll flip him off! Get in there, get his gun, cut him off! Lay on your horn! That's when you need to lay on your horn! And I was just like, there was no need for that. Like, I grew up where, the horn was used to, like, say hi. Like, you kind of did a little, like, beep, like, hey, you use the horn, or the light tap if someone's, not going at the green light. You're still like, hey, just in case you didn't know, New Yorkers, there is no nice horn.
No.
And it is like an appendage of your body. Like, it is the element of emphasis in life.
It's like you said something like, if somebody cuts you off, it's like they told you to go F yourself and that your mother's a whore. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Seriously. Yeah.
Right. So there's just this innate difference, to your point, of drivers in New York who feel just like other drivers or other people, opinionated and MySpace, and don't even come close. And then same thing. If there's a green light that it turns green, I'm fine. Like, just let them figure out. They're probably just not paying attention. A little tap on it. Honk your horn. Lay on your horn. Make
Not
it
so
go
much.
quicker.
Dude, I think
what are you doing?
I can't tell if it's just me because of this pandemic and limiting, like, a lot of, like, outdoor things. Like
Yep.
I get more paranoid. Like, if I'm in a cab, even, like, driving with, like, my family sometimes, like, I'm more paranoid now. Like, oh my God, you're gonna get into an accident. Oh my God, that guy's driving so fast. But, like, I don't know. Like, I'm a weird person, but I also feel like it's because of the pandemic and the stuff that we've gone through that it's like now there's, like, I think that's why there's more anxiety. I don't think that I'm losing my shit.
And I think that it's twofold. One is this whole pandemic has brought a sense of mortality to a lot of people, and just that acknowledgement of, well, damn, I could get this tomorrow. I could, just in general of doing that. And then secondarily, you have the fact that you haven't gotten in a car or a cab or driven, and these people haven't driven in how long because they have nowhere to go, that they might be a little rusty.
Dude, I think I am. And my paranoia is so, oh God, it's bad. But I will tell you, well, first, how you doing, Grace? How's your weekend?
Oh, good.
I had to get that off my chest for a moment. Let's start strong, I suppose.
But I think you said it perfectly when it's the little penis stereos.
Yeah, man. It's like there's no reason. There's no like I agree with you. Like, driving down, with the music loud, like, cool. I'm all for that. That's amazing. But, like, the way that some people, like, literally just drive down the fucking street and it's like, and you can hear them from, like, 2 blocks away.
And like, it's so general. We were driving somewhere and this guy had, like, a crappy car that was so loud, like the mufflers. And stuff.
It like.
And you're like, you're like, why do you feel the need to announce yourself everywhere you're going? Like, to me, I want a car that if I'm being chased by the cops, I could sneak away into the night, into an alley,
right,
and be fine. Or not the cops or anyone. And I could just kind of like go quietly.
No warrants here, I'll tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, just sort of, I could just pull off and nobody would know or hear me.
But they're the
These
people that
guys-
get caught.
That's what, like, aren't you the ones that are usually the one of the problem? So wouldn't you want a little more discreet car?
It should be like
what
Grand
is the
Theft
value?
Auto. You
Yeah.
gotta lose the stars.
That's
Drop
what I'm
the heat.
saying. Yes. So why are you like making a scene? Like, what's the value? And it's not even nice cars.
No, it's always a shitty car. Or it was like it was a shitty car that they like re-souped up to make it look less shitty, but it's still a shitty, like it's still a Pinto.
Yeah.
But it looks,
cool, bro. Like, what, you can drive this? Like, that doesn't, like, who are you valuing being that loud? No. What are you getting out of that?
Right. I don't understand it.
And the people with the actual nice cars, they don't need anything at all loud, because it's sort of the same way like your presence. Like, you don't need to be loud. You just need to be the boss that when you walk in the room, they know you're the boss.
Make your absence felt, not your presence heard.
Yes. That's the way. That should be on like cars.
That's the name of this episode now.
Yep.
People will be like, this is like a motivational episode? No, it's not. Not by far. Dude, I will tell you, I've got this thing, and I don't know, man, my mind goes crazy places these days. And I got that thought again, and we did a whole episode on it. So I don't want to bring it back, but I will tell you that thought of like, what happens, like I'm going to die one day. It kept coming back, and I just kept thinking, oh man, remember when Grace and I discussed that? And then and I spiral, and I'm like, oh, but she said this and this. And I'm like, God damn, I got to stop. And then it makes you reflect on every like aspect of your life, and you're like, God damn, like, am I doing it right?
Well, I think it's both. I mean, we're also at an age, I don't know about you, but 30's been coming around the corner.
Dude, I've got I brought it up. I've got these to protect my little ojos.
I mean, that's, well, there we go.
Friends. Dude, yeah, it's fucked up.
But I've been hardcore, like, well, didn't get 30 under 30, so what do I have to show for that? You know, kind of deal.
You know? Dude, it always makes me feel some type of way, especially when I see like some friends, and they say, right, don't compare yourself to anyone else, right? That's not healthy. It's not a good thing to do, but everyone does it. And then I look at my friends, and like like social media is a fucking highlight reel, but like I look at my friends and I'm like, oh, dude, fuck you. You're playing with this person. You're in this house band on this TV show, and I'm like, God damn. Should I just move to California, leave it all behind? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So
that's I hardcore struggle. Like, I feel like I'm two people. One is this like live in a van, travel the world, have the clothes on my back, and live every experience. Screw the 9 to 5, like that atmosphere. And then I have this other sense that's like, no. Be responsible. You want a family, save money, get a nice house, have a life that you know, enjoy the people you're around, like build a foundation. Like, I'm like these two different people.
Right. Dude, I think about that shit all the time. Yeah.
And it's not because like you lean into one or the other, and people do either. And maybe some people don't have both, and it's an easier choice. But like, I definitely have done the more, you know, I got freaked out when I was like, I like knowing when my next paycheck is coming in. You know, there's certain foundations that, you know, you do. So you lean in one way, and you just are like, and it sucks because it's not that you're not excited about the stuff you're creating, but you just have this like FOMO of everything you're not. But then it's like, do I really even want to do that? I don't know.
I may have said this before, and it kind of goes to like, to tie it in with what you're saying, like, yeah, dude, like, I'm never the guy. I can never be the guy that's like, oh, I can, like, oh, if I can't pay rent this month, oh, it's fine. I'll move out and I'll couch surf. Like, I can't be that guy. Yeah. I wish that I could have the freedom to be that person, which, and you know what, if that's your thing, like, nothing wrong with that. But, like, I can't do it. Like, maybe I don't have the balls. I cannot, like, I'm a planner. Spontaneity is very challenging for me. With like dating, sure, like whatever, like Hope and I'll go somewhere, like random things, like, and it's here and there. It's not every day, right?
Right.
And I always wonder, like, what if? And I mean, like, that's broad, but like, what if I decided, if I just wanted to be a lawyer? And I didn't want to be a musician, and I had like that steady climb. I think we've talked about it a little bit, but like that steady thing of like, all right, you go to school, you do this clerical work, you do this, you become a lawyer, you make a lot of money, or a doctor, or whatever, like those normal jobs, or teaching. Like teaching is like, it's hard, but more of a like step A to Z, and this is it. And now, you're in a similar field. You're in a similar situation as me, where like, yes, you do have like a somewhat quote unquote normal job, but like it's not necessarily like the steps. You know what I mean? Like it's not like where you are to CEO is this clear cut path. You know, so like I always wonder, man. And then it brings me back to, well, if I didn't do what I'm doing, I would regret it, and I would wish that I would have went for it. And then you get into that hole of, okay, I'm going for it. Am I doing enough? But I also heard from Bert Kreischer, the stand-up, that if you are questioning if you're doing enough, that you are, or you're like trying to be your best self. So like that's a good sign.
So if you're questioning it, it's a good thing, because you're never.
Like you'll be like, essentially it's like double-edged sword, because you're like never be content, but like always questioning, am I doing enough? I mean, it's like it's like a curse, but it's also kind of like, like until, and I feel like there's no ending. Like for me, on a really deep level, I don't know when it will ever be enough, but it's the constant search, right?
Yeah, and that's we're getting like super deep and heavy here, but it definitely goes back to that, And on the other side, if you're questioning, you're doing it right because you're challenging yourself to be better. But then if you're questioning, are you never going to be happy because you're always going to want something more?
Oh man, we could go really intense in that, in the insecurities, huh?
Circled that. Yeah.
I'll follow that up with penis, boobs. Just let's lighten up the mood. If it's heavy in here, oh boy. No, you're right though. You're right, and I mean it's applicable everywhere. And and man, it's hard, right? That's like one of the hardest things to figure out. And like I feel like a lot of people have those like those situations in life where it's just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and that's a whole thing. And that's why people get useless degrees. But yeah, dude, it's fucked up. And then you circle that back to that, like me, like a super paranoid person thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. What's gonna happen? And then you just circle on.
So we're doing well.
And it doesn't help. And I don't know. Is your family like that? Because mine loves to talk about when they die. Does your parents like to just okay? Then I got my family's crazy, but like my parents love to say like, oh, by the way, when I die, this is who you got to call, and you're gonna have this, and you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, and you'll be entitled to this, and I'm like, yeah, but like don't die. I'd rather be poor and happy that you're alive than like have all these things and you be dead. But they love to remind you, and then it like gets you all messed up and makes you think about, well, fuck, it's messed up. I've had a crazy weekend, if you can't tell, and that guy in that car really fucked up my evening. Like, God damn it, and it's fucking everywhere.
So all back to where we started.
I think I have a new
guy driving. People driving with their windows loud. If you're out there, you will make people question their mortality, because it's deeper than that. It's deeper than just being annoying, guys.
Yeah,
I actually the next time you have a low penis radio and you want to blast your music.
I tell you, I had a dream after that, and this happens. Man, I don't know. Maybe I got to see somebody. This happens every time that something like that happens, and I I had a dream. I'm not even kidding. This isn't just for the podcast. This is dead serious. I had a dream almost every time when something like that happens, or if there's like a loud sound at like 2 a.m. that like wakes me up, I go back to sleep and I have a dream that I have a sniper. And now I'm not kidding. I don't shoot the person, but for whatever reason, I shoot the tires in the car, and I think that's going to stop the sound. And I'm not, like, this is reoccurring. It happens every time there's, like, a loud noise, and I shoot the tires of the car because that's how angry I am. And I think, wow, that's going to help. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
So this car thing is, like, serious.
It really offends me to, like, my deepest parts of my soul. I don't know why.
Well, I know we're wrapping up, and maybe we talk about it next time. But speaking of dreams, I have an idea for a TV show.
Okay.
Have you seen Drunk History?
I have seen Drunk History.
So for those who haven't, it's basically like they reenact history. Like people are acting while someone else is telling the story, and they're drunk telling the story. But the whole point here visually is that there is people acting while someone else is narrating, and it's like their voice. So that, but with dreams. So basically, it would be like this dream that makes no sense when you like put it out, which is why it's sort of like Drunk History, because it'd be weird to be like, oh, and then a snake fell from the sky, like, because that's the dream. Right. And then, I met Rob Gronkowski, and that was the dream. Like that's like how the dream happens, and it's totally random. So you have these like little snippets where someone tells a story, and they show it acting out. So you get like famous actors who are like acting out this dream, and then you hire a dream like interpreter, and then they tell you like what all those sort of things mean. And so each episode is like someone else's dream, and you get to watch it, and they'd be like, cool, like, yeah. And all of a sudden, like I got a sniper and I shot this guy's tires. And it's like famous people are acting out this dream, and then the interpreter tells you what it means.
I like that. I'm in. I'd be a part of that, or I'd want to be a narrator for that. I want to before we go, because I want to talk about this next time. So hold me accountable for this conversation. Right. Just going to give a straight up sentence, short paragraph about something that I'm thinking. And I also want to save it to next time because I haven't done enough research yet. But I will leave this podcast with this statement. It seems like anybody can run for office these days. That's all I'm
Whatever could you be talking about? And join us next week for more topics of conversation. Let's be honest, the world is crazy.
I like that. Let's be honest, the world is crazy. We'll see you next week, episode 13. What up?